Okay, so part 2. I talked a little bit before about reputation management. Of all the reputation management tools out there, I still lean on Google the most. I mean, Yelp is... How do I put this? Yelp and dealerships have a hate-hate relationship. And the fact that you have to pay to respond to any of your reviews or manage your reviews. I mean, you can go in there for free and check your profile and make sure their information is accurate, contact information is that, but you have to pay to actually manage it. And that might not be in everybody's budget. So I still think Yelp is primarily used for restaurants. So a restaurant, I would highly recommend you pay for the price for Yelp, because you can book a lot of business through Yelp. You can manage the bad reviews through Yelp. You have a lot more, I think, for that platform. That makes more sense, a restaurant as opposed to a car dealership. I don't think there's a huge presence for reviews on Yelp for car dealerships, even though they hate each other. And anyway, so Yelp wouldn't be my choice if you have a car dealership. If you have a restaurant, absolutely. Reputation.com is a company that actually offers the managing of reputation for car dealerships, and they do a good job. They do a good job. If you can do this internally, I would recommend doing internally, because the connection with the customer, I think, is of primary importance, and I think sometimes that gets lost when you have a third-party company actually managing it. Now, I get it. Sometimes there's not enough hours in the day, days in the week, weeks in a year. But if you can do it yourself internally and have that more personal approach, I would highly recommend it. I'm not really... Any other review sites that are out there, I just don't see their impact as heavily as I do about Google and Yelp. Now, social media, Facebook specifically, there's an option to leave reviews. That's a separate conversation. Probably at the end of this, I'll tack on that conversation. But reputation, it needs to be managed. Whether or not you think you have a reputation out there, like I've encountered businesses before, they're like, oh, I don't need digital marketing help. We do fine. You have a digital presence. Whether or not you manage it is kind of up to you, but you have a digital presence. Whether or not you think you have one, you have one. We all do. As individual people, we have a digital presence. Google your name. You'll be terrified at what comes up. So thinking that you don't have a Google presence or a review presence or a digital, online, and you're not in the online space as a business, go Google yourself. Or put your name into Bing or DuckDuckGo or any of those. I guarantee there's someone, if you've been in business for longer than 3 months, I guarantee that someone somewhere, you have a review about your business. And people are coming to your business. Someone somewhere has left a good or bad review about your business. So the next task becomes managing that, right? You have to manage that reputation. And this is where it kind of intertwines a little bit with social media. So we want our customers to leave reviews when they're happy, but they don't necessarily do that. Like, only if you've literally given them like a puppy and a rainbow and a unicorn and it's the best experience of their life. It seems like that's the only way some people leave reviews. So you have to put it in front of them. Where do you need reviews right now? So you have a bad review on Yelp. You want to get that. You want to get more good reviews on Yelp. So anybody with a Yahoo email address, send them a link to Yelp. Like, you can create a QR code fairly simply online and create one in your business for Yelp. Hey, help us out. Leave us a review on Yelp. Or, hey, help us out. Leave us a review on Google or Facebook or whatever, wherever you need reviews. And don't keep it at one place, right? Change it up. So change it up every couple of months so you kind of evenly disperse where your reviews are. Or your other option is to put all of your QR codes up for all of your places to reviews. That can get a little overwhelming, but I would recommend every 3 months changing it up to where you want your reviews to go, to kind of an even disbursement of reviews across the board. But don't assume just because you don't manage your online presence that you don't have one. Don't ever assume that. You're wrong. You're wrong. Well, what's assume mean? It makes an ass out of you and me. So that's exactly what it will happen if you assume that you don't have a digital presence. So with reputation, that's kind of the basics of reputation. There's a lot more intricacies, and there's a geography behind it, of course, too, but that's the basics on reputation management. So do I have enough time? I have enough time. So if we're going to talk to social media, like I said, pick 1, maybe 3 tops that you can realistically manage. Post often. Make it funny, make it personal, make it custom, make it engaging. I'm not a fan of posting posting blanket content like, hey, we're having a big of selling content. I'm not a fan. Posting, hey, we have all these vehicles for sale, come on in and buy a vehicle. If you're posting your commercials that some company made for you that you thought were wonderful, that's awesome. Don't post it on your social media. Nobody gives a shit about your freaking commercials. So I would highly, highly, highly recommend, if you have a dealership, go into the service bay, take a time-lapse picture, a time-lapse video of cars in a service bay on one of the bays. That's a huge, big thing right now. Mechanics and people bringing in their cars with stupid customer problems, or just not stupid customer problems, but customer problems. That's another huge draw. So I would highly recommend doing those kind of videos as well. How about, I had a store, and I've said this before, that actually stood outside during the pandemic of the store with a radio, like in Say Anything, and played Missing You by John Waite. It was hysterical. So get creative and get personal too. What's going on in your local area? What are things that only locals would understand about your local area? Post about that. Don't be afraid to actually come up with unique and funny content, because that's the kind of stuff that gets you more followers. Actually being personable, actually being funny, actually being timely. Those kinds of things are what gets you followers. And make sure and reference your business. Make sure and reference, hey, you can seek out this person or that person, or here's the website, or here's the number, here's how to contact us. Put in your CTAs, so to speak, in your videos. That means how the customer, the consumer, can actually get in contact with you to actually patronize your business. And for social media, keep it short and sweet. If you have 10-minute videos, like me, not everyone's going to watch all the way to the end, right? Your best option is to keep it 3 to 5 minutes or less. That's where you're going to get, that's the sweet spot where people are actually checking out. So that's my challenge for this week. Make yourself some social media videos, engage in reputation management. Happy selling.